Have you ever watched someone profess their love so loudly, it almost makes you cringe? Meghan Markle's Valentine's Day message to Harry has everyone talking, but not in the way you might think. Is it real love, or just another elaborate show for the cameras? You see, every time they try to prove their relationship is stronger than ever, something feels off, like they're trying way too hard. But why? Why is it that when Meghan writes a heartfelt tribute, it feels more like a PR stunt than a genuine expression of love? In today's video, we're diving into the truth behind their latest Valentine's display, unpacking the over-the-top gestures, the awkward PDA, and the endless need to be seen as the perfect couple. But behind all that, could there be cracks showing? Is Meghan using Harry to stay relevant? Or is she just trying to convince herself and us that everything is perfect? Stick with me as we take a closer look at their relationship, the public spectacle they've become, and why so many people feel like something just doesn't add up. Let's break it down, because I promise the truth behind their love story might shock you. When we talk about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, it's impossible to ignore the drama that constantly surrounds them. But is it love, or is it just an endless performance? Let's start with a simple question. Why do they always feel the need to prove their relationship is rock solid? Is it because they're actually deeply in love, or is there something else at play here? Something deeper, perhaps a bit darker? Take a look at Meghan's Valentine's Day tribute to Harry. On the surface, it seems sweet enough, right? She talks about her husband like he's a hero. She praises his work at the Invictus Games and even goes so far as to promise to eat burgers and fries with him forever. But here's the catch. The same person who's writing these grand, emotional declarations was also spotted looking visibly frustrated with Harry just days earlier at the Invictus Games. Doesn't that strike you as odd? So, what's really going on here? It's easy to dismiss Meghan's words as mere affection, but when you look closer, there's a pattern of manipulation. Maybe not in the traditional sense, but it's there. Why does Meghan need to remind the world of their unbreakable bond every chance she gets? Why do these posts feel more like an act than genuine emotion? It's almost as though every time they get a bit of negative attention, they double down with a show of affection. But before we dive deeper into this, let's step back and take a look at the bigger picture. Meghan and Harry aren't just any ordinary couple. They've become global figures, and their every move is scrutinized by millions. And yet, somehow, they still seem to get caught in this web of contradictions. For instance, Meghan's so-called vegan lifestyle. We've all heard her talk about being conscious of what she eats, yet she's happily munching on burgers and fries in her Valentine's post. How does that work? Are we supposed to believe that this is all part of her down-to-earth persona? It's hard to take her seriously when the actions don't line up with the narrative she's selling. And don't even get me started on the public displays of affection. Now, we all know that the royal family has its traditions, but they also have their own way of doing things in private. When Prince William and Catherine post a picture or a message, it's natural, calm, and, above all, genuine. But with Meghan and Harry, it's a whole different story. Every photo, every kiss, every message, it's like they're trying to convince us, and maybe themselves, that everything is okay. But is that really the case? The glaring contrast between the way William and Catherine handle their relationship and how Meghan and Harry do it is telling. Let's talk about Harry for a moment. How many of you noticed his body language during some of those PDA moments? Have you seen him recoil, even just slightly, when Meghan pulls him in for yet another kiss in front of the cameras? It's subtle, but it's there. And I'm not just pulling this out of thin air. Watch the footage carefully. The way he pulls away, the way his arms remain stiff at his sides. It's almost as though he's reluctantly complying with her demands for affection, but not fully present in the moment. This isn't the Harry we used to see. Is he happy? Is he comfortable? Or is this just his way of maintaining the status quo, trying to please Meghan while secretly struggling with the relationship? If you look at Meghan's behavior, it's even more telling. Constantly needing to be in the spotlight, constantly grabbing Harry's attention, physically pulling him toward her. She does this not only to keep him close, but to ensure the cameras are focused on them. And if the cameras are focused on them, it's clear that she's the star of the show. Every time Harry talks to someone else, or even looks away, Meghan pulls him back in. It's as if she's worried that if she lets go for just a second, the narrative she's trying to control might slip from her grasp. But here's the kicker. When they aren't in the public eye, what's really happening behind closed doors? We hear about their grand gestures, but what do they really mean? Are they just playing up to a script, or is there real love beneath the surface? Take the Invictus Games as an example. Meghan's sudden departure raised eyebrows. Official statements claimed it was planned, but other sources tell a different story. She didn't leave by choice. It was a PR disaster. She couldn't control the narrative, so she made a quick exit. That's not the behavior of someone who's fully invested in their husband's cause. In fact, it speaks volumes about the kind of pressure Meghan feels to maintain her public image at all costs. And what about their kids? Or should I say, the invisible children? We've heard a lot about Archie and Lily, but how often do we actually see them? When was the last time they were pictured together? The answer is simple: never. So why are they constantly mentioned in public posts? Is it to paint a picture of the happy family? Or is there something more sinister at play here? It's as if they need to keep up the illusion of parenthood to maintain their relevance. But when you look closely, it seems like their kids are more of a tool in their PR machine than a central part of their lives. It's also worth questioning the way they speak about their children. Have you noticed how Harry often brings up deep, heavy topics like PTSD or landmines in his conversations with his kids? He's even mentioned these issues in interviews, painting a picture of his young children being exposed to the harsh realities of life at a tender age. But is this really the right approach? Do children this young really need to hear about such distressing subjects? If we compare their approach to parenting with other royal families, like William and Catherine, there's a stark contrast. William and Catherine talk about their children in a way that is both loving and protective. They don't overexpose them. They shield their kids from the public eye and let them enjoy their childhoods. Harry and Meghan, on the other hand, seem to use their children as part of their media narrative, not necessarily as part of their family story. Now, let's switch gears for a moment and talk about the real issue at hand: Meghan and Harry's authenticity. Are they genuine? Are they truly committed to each other? Or is this just an ongoing performance for the public? The more they try to prove their love, the more they raise doubts. The more they try to keep up with William and Catherine, the more they fall short. Every step they take seems to be one of imitation, not originality. And no matter how much they try to sell us their story, it just doesn't feel right. So, I ask you, are Meghan and Harry genuinely in love, or is all of this just a carefully orchestrated show? Could it be that they're trapped in their own narrative, desperately trying to maintain the facade of a perfect life, when the reality couldn't be further from the truth? And, perhaps most importantly, are we buying into it? We've seen the contradictions, the overblown gestures, and the constant need to be seen. But the real question is, will they ever be able to convince us that their love is anything more than a media spectacle? Time will tell. But one thing is for certain, they're not fooling everyone. So what do you think? Are Harry and Meghan just putting on a show, or is there more to their story than meets the eye? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get the conversation going. As we wrap up today's analysis, one thing is clear. Meghan and Harry's relationship continues to captivate the world. But the question remains, are we witnessing genuine love, or just a carefully crafted performance for the cameras? From the over-the-top public displays of affection to the constant contradictions in their words and actions, it's hard to ignore the growing doubts surrounding their marriage. We've seen them try to outdo other royals, put on a show of unbreakable love, and even pull the perfect family card. But is it all just smoke and mirrors? The cracks in their narrative are becoming harder to ignore, and the more they push for our attention, the more they raise questions about their true intentions. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think Meghan and Harry are genuinely in love, or are they simply playing a part to stay relevant in the public eye? Could their marriage actually be on the brink of collapse, or is this just another chapter in their ongoing drama? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get the discussion started. And if you're as fascinated by the royal family's twists and turns as I am, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update on all things royal. Trust me, you won't want to miss what we've got coming next. Stay tuned for more exclusive content, and thank you for being part of this royal journey with us.